Alrighty guys, welcome back to your remote learning experience. This lesson is going to be for the 25th, I believe, which is Wednesday, okay? And so yesterday you guys did a lesson on Nearpod a little bit where you watched a video about human karyotypes, and then you also watched an introductory video to the process of meiosis, okay? So I'm gonna be looking at your feedback today from the Nearpod and seeing what questions you guys still have, and hopefully we can get some of those questions answered very soon, okay? But today's lesson is going to be on comparing mitosis and meiosis because they are different processes, but they also have similarities, all right? So what goes along with this video is a Venn diagram that I want you to fill out once you have watched the entirety of this video, and then you'll hand that in on PowerSchool Learning or to me through email, okay? So what I'm gonna do today is just go back and forth and kind of talk about mitosis and meiosis and compare the two side by side, all right? So first, I'm going to start with talking about chromosomes, okay, on each side. So put chromosomes right here. I'm gonna put chromosomes right here. Okay, so in terms of mitosis, okay, mitosis produces your body cells, okay? So it produces a skin cell would undergo mitosis to produce another skin cell, or same with the liver cell or a stomach cell, okay? They go through mitosis to produce body cells, okay? And all body cells are what we call diploid, or most cells are what we call diploid, okay? So this is a good word to remember, diploid, okay? And all diploid means is that you have two sets of chromosomes. Okay? So you have two sets of chromosomes. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Okay? So if we look back at our human karyotype, this is one that I stole from the Amoeba sisters because I think they did a good job with it. Okay? This is an example of a human karyotype. All right? There are 23 chromosomes here. All right? And you can see, or you have 23 pairs of chromosomes, I should say. Okay? 46 in total. Okay? Most of your cells in your body have 46 chromosomes. All right? So looking at this karyotype, you have 23 pairs, okay? So you have 2 copies of chromosome number 1, 2 copies of chromosome number 2, 2 copies of chromosome number 3, and so on, okay? And the very last set of chromosomes are your sex chromosomes, so that determines your biological sex. This would be a human karyotype for a male because there is one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, okay? One X and one Y chromosome indicate a male, and 2 X chromosomes indicate a female, okay? So for mitosis, you produce body cells, okay? So mitosis produces body cells. So I'm going to put example skin cell, stomach cell, etc. Okay, so that is for mitosis. Moving on to the other side of meiosis, okay? So in terms of chromosomes, all right, cells that are produced from meiosis are what we call haploid, okay? A good way to remember haploid is half and haploid, okay? They both start with HA. So haploid means half. Okay, I'm gonna put that right here. Means half, all right? So that means that haploid cells only have one set of chromosomes. Which in this case, in humans, equals 23 chromosomes. Okay, so if I look back at this karyotype again, all right, so most human body cells have 46 chromosomes, okay? But meiosis, on the other hand, would only have half of those amount of chromosomes, okay? So it would only have one copy of chromosome 1, one copy of chromosome 2, and one copy of chromosome 3, and so on. And the cells that are produced from meiosis only have one sex chromosome, okay? And so it makes sense because when fertilization occurs, aka the sperm fertilizes the egg cell, one of those chromosomes you'll get from mom and one of them you'll get from dad, okay? So we'll go over that a little bit more later. But anyways, back to meiosis, all right? Meiosis produces what we call gametes, or sex cells. So those are sperm and egg cells, okay? And those gametes have 23 chromosomes instead of 46. Okay, so that is important to note because when a sperm cell fuses with an egg cell, their chromosomes combine. So if they have half the chromosomes in the sperm cell, so 23, and then 23 chromosomes in the egg cell, what happens is when they fertilize and come together, they have a full set of 46 chromosomes, okay? Which makes sense because humans have 46 chromosomes, okay? So moving onward and upward. All right, so mitosis, they produces diploid cells that have two sets of each chromosome, and those are body cells, okay? So next I want to talk about the process of mitosis versus meiosis, okay? So what's great about these is that they are similar, okay? So mitosis follows PMAT, okay, which is the process of prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, okay? So I'm going to put that right here. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Okay, so you learned this when you made your mitosis models, okay, that is the general kind of step-by-step procedure that body cells go through, okay? They go through prophase, they go through metaphase, they go through anaphase, and they go through telophase. And then they go through cytokinesis, or the official split of the cytoplasm. Okay, so that is something that happens in meiosis as well, okay? So meiosis also follows the general PMAT procedure, okay? P, M, A, T, and then cytokinesis, but the difference is that this process in meiosis happens twice, multiplied by 2. Okay? So meiosis undergoes PMAT twice. Okay? So instead of just calling it prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, in meiosis we add numbers after each of the phases to indicate which prophase it's in or which metaphase it's in. So for example, there's prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, and then there's a split. And then there's prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Okay? And then another split, and then you have 4 new cells. Okay? Don't worry about the details of meiosis right now because we are going to do that tomorrow. We'll go in them in depth a lot more. Okay? So speaking of how many cells that these processes produce, mitosis produces 2 identical cells with 46 chromosomes. Okay? And that's what we want, okay? We don't want a skin cell producing a cell for your eyeball. You want a skin cell producing another skin cell, okay? So mitosis creates identical copies, okay? And that makes sense because you have copies of your DNA and each cell gets a piece of the DNA so that they are the same, okay? But in meiosis, it's a little bit different, okay? Meiosis produces 4 unique cells with 23 chromosomes. Whoops. Okay, so the way that meiosis works is it allows for a lot of genetic variety, okay? And that makes sense because that's why you don't look exactly identical to your parents. You look a little bit different from your parents. But then it also makes sense because that's why you might look similar to your siblings, okay? Because of that process of meiosis. It produces 4 unique cells from one another,